go. Okay. All right, we're going to start on our mat. Okay. On our backs with a little bit of a Pilates warm-up move. So we're going to start lying here on the mat, palms down. Try to get your shoulders away from your ears while we're here. Feet are flat on the mat, about hip distance, and at a comfortable distance from your glutes. So for bridges, we really walk them in, but just be at a comfortable distance here. Start to engage your core. So in Pilates, we want to maintain a little bit of that natural curvature of your lower spine. So we're not pressing the spine into the floor. We are bringing the belly button down to meet the spine while the spine stays in that nice neutral position. And we're just going to start with some arm overs. So taking those arms, lift them up on an inhale, all the way to touch behind you. Exhale on the way down. So this is just a little warm-up move to start to connect us to our breath and to our core. As you inhale, you should feel that stretch here in your core, in your abs, in your diaphragm a little bit. And as you exhale and push down, you can feel your diaphragm pushing down to let that air out. The whole time thinking about that lower back curvature. So the natural thing is to kind of want to flatten the back and then arch the back and flatten it. But here we're using our core to maintain that same position throughout. Just a few more reps here in this warm-up move. Nice. All right, so feel that core engage. We are going to go into a single leg reach here. So we'll start with our feet on the floor and we'll just lift that one leg up with the knee bent and reach over to the other side of your body. Lift up, inhale, exhale, reach. Inhale, exhale, reach. So we're just going to start with this gentle movement. If you feel like you are already warm and already ready to get into a little more of an intense Pilates move, you can start by fully extending the leg that you're lifting. And really feel the tide of your breath here. And if you are really ready, we're going to keep those legs up off the ground, hover the extended leg, reaching side to side, reach to one side, and then reach to the other with this scissor leg. Again, paying attention to that spinal position of the lower body. You want it to maintain that little bit of curve. Sorry, I'm just setting the timer here. While still engaging your core, pressing that belly button down into the spine, not getting an exaggerated arch in your back. A flatter arch is better than an exaggerated arch. Keep going for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug your legs for a minute. Bring those legs in. You can roll side to side. And now we're going to stay on one side. So again, you can have that foot on the floor. You can have the knee bent, leg extended, other leg. Reach, 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 reach for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch legs and reach, 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 reach for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Again, hug those knees, give it a little roll, get that tension out of your body before we go into our next core move, which will be our Pilates 100s. So staying here on your back, you can have your knees bent, knees will stay together, legs will stay together this time, or legs extended. Roll up off the mat. You want this Pilates C curve from the top of your head down to your tailbone, a nice C, lifting those shoulders up off the mat, and we'll start to beat the air for 100. 10, 20. And so feel free to vary your leg position throughout this movement. 30. Sometimes you need more intensity. Sometimes you need to back off for a minute. 40. Feeling this lower core engaged throughout this whole series. 50. Lifting, recommitting to lifting those shoulders up off the mat. 60. A nice distance between your chin and your chest. You don't want to try to tuck your chin in, that will cut off your breathing. 70. 80. 90. And 100. Nice. Again, you can hug your knees, roll side to side, let go of some of that tension. We're going to stay in this position because our next move is going to be rolling like a ball. So holding onto those knees, we're going to roll up and roll back. So just feel really playful with this. Rolling back, rolling up. You can tap your toes to the mat if you'd like in the middle, or you can catch a balance at the top. Just enjoy this little playful movement. Do 4 or 5 more at your own pace. And nice. When you're ready, you're going to meet me sitting up on the mat. And we are going to go into a butterfly position with our feet. So feet are together, knees are very open. Wiggle yourself so that you've got both sit bones right on the mat. Feel your body even. Try not to let your hips tilt one way or the other. I know we are all kind of tight on one side, looser on the other, strong on one side, weaker on the other. And so our body normally wants to be a little bit out of balance. Holding onto your core to sit up straight, we're going to plant one hand, reach over to the side. Other arm, reach. So while you're doing these reaches, we're keeping those knees really open, not letting the hips rock to one side. We're keeping both glutes on the mat for these stretches. So this is both a stretch, but also a strength move, a core move for those obliques, the side of the body. Thinking about keeping that spine super tall, super straight, head up to the ceiling, just side to side reach for 4, and reach, and 3, and reach, and 2, and reach. Last one, and reach. Now we're going to stay on one side. Reach up, reach up. So since we're staying on one side, you might be able to get a little bit deeper. Use that bend, that elbow of that supporting arm to get yourself up and over. Think about lifting your rib cage up over the hips and to the side for 4, 3, 2. Last one, lift up and over. Bend that elbow. Over. Up and over. And for me, it was definitely more natural on my right side that I was doing before than on my left side. So interesting to feel the difference here for 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep it up, you guys. You're looking great. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Grab hold of your feet. Those thighs should feel pretty engaged now there to work to keep those knees open. Let's give a little stretch here so you can round over, dropping your head toward your feet to start to get a little bit of stretch on the inside of those legs. And now keeping hold of your feet if you can. You can also hold your ankles or your calves. We're going to extend those legs in front of us to stretch the back of the leg, holding onto the toes, or again, the ankles, the calves, the thighs, wherever your stretch is today. And in this stretch, before we bend all the way over, think about pushing that lower back. Instead of thinking about where the head is, think about where that lower back is to get a deeper stretch by hinging from the hips, trying to flatten the lower back down, and then you can drop the head. Nice stretch, you guys. Rolling back to seated, we're going to come onto our belly to do some lower back strengthening. So we are going to be down on the mat. You can have your forehead on your palms. We're going to bend one knee, flex that foot, and then push that ankle up into the air. So your other leg is in full contact with the mat. You're not letting it lift up. Your hips, both hip bones, in full contact with the mat. Just pushing that heel straight up into the air, not opening to the side. Nice. 4 more on this leg. 3, 2, and 1. Drop that foot down, top of the foot in contact with the floor. Bend the other knee, flex that foot, push the heel up to the ceiling. Nice, you guys. So you should feel your lower back engaging with this. It shouldn't hurt, but it should definitely feel like work. Push, working to keep both of those hip bones in contact with the mat. That involves some engagement from your core below. Push that hip bone of the knee that you're lifting into the mat as you lift for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend that leg. We're going to alternate. Bend, lift, drop, down. Bend, lift, drop, down. One leg, bend, lift, drop, down. Flex your heel, push to the ceiling, drop, down, lift, up, drop, down, lift, up, drop, down, bend, press, down, release, bend, press, down, release. Keep it going. Alternating those legs. As you have sped up this movement and started switching side to side, now let's think about the position of our core. It's engaged. As we move from one side of the body to the other, that core is preventing us from rolling side to side, preventing those hips from opening up to one side. Nice. You should also feel your glutes engaging as we have sped it up. Squeezing that glute as you lift the leg into the air. Lift. For 4, lift, down, drop. 3, lift, down, drop. 2, lift, down, drop. Last one, lift, down, drop. Both feet, if you can, lift and lower. Bend, lift, drop, lower. Bend, lift, drop, lower. If this is putting too much pressure on your lower back, just go back to alternating legs. If you are doing both legs, and I can feel I'm not setting a great example here, my heels, when I lift up off the mat, my heels want to come in toward each other. So I am working to engage my hamstrings on the back of my thighs to keep everything parallel. Keep those lower legs parallel to one another as I lift off the mat for 4, drop, 3, lift, down, drop. 2, lift, down, drop. Last one, lift, down, and drop. You can wiggle your hips side to side. Let's press back into a child's pose to give that lower back a stretch after the work that we put it through. Toes together, knees apart. I'm letting my hips move side to side to just make sure I fully let go of that lower back. Next move, coming into a side plank on the knee. So I'm going to be on my elbow here. I think that is most comfortable for this move. But if you have a reason to choose wrist, that's totally fine. We are going to have our bottom knee in line with our shoulder. If you don't want to come all the way up into the plank position, it's totally fine to just have your hip here on the mat, your hip down to your leg on the mat, especially if it's putting a lot of pressure on your shoulder. If you're comfortable though, we can lift that hip up. We're gonna lift the top arm. We're gonna have this top leg here lifted in the air and just front and back. Keeping a straight knee and back. Using your core to keep from having your torso go front to back. So only that leg is moving in the hip socket, front, back, front, back. And if at any time you would like to just drop that hip down to the mat, feel free. Back, front, back. It's much more important that your core is engaged and that your torso isn't rolling front to back than that your hip is up off the mat. Back, front, back. Nice job. Keep it up for 4, back, 3, back, 2, back, last one, and back. Coming to the other side. Getting set up. Straight line from knee to shoulder. You don't want your knee to be in front of your body. Down on your hip or lifting the hip up off the mat. Other leg up in the air. Front and back. Front and back. So we're trying here to keep this leg that's moving the same parallel distance from the floor. So we want it to be hip height, trying not to let it drop down toward the mat. And today we're not rainbowing up either. Back, front, and back, front, back, like a clock, sweeping through time, front, back, for 4, back, 3, back, 2, back, 1, and back. Nice job. Nice job. Laying back, giving a pencil stretch here, elongating. Sitting up, we're going to come to a bird dog position now. So we are going to be on hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, lifting one leg and the opposite arm. We're just going to start with bringing our elbow to our knee in a strong contraction as we exhale. Open, 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 exhale, open, exhale, open for 4, 3, inhale, exhale, 2, and 1. Switching sides just to get into that same groove. Exhale and open. So bringing the elbow to the knee, if you can, underneath you, engaging the core as you fully extend, keeping that natural curve in your lower back, in the lower part of the spine, lumbar spine, but not letting it exaggerate beyond natural. So when we're extended, we're not dropping that spine into a sway back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back, get set up in our bird dog. We are going to switch side to side in that movement. So extend, exhale, extend, switch sides, extend, exhale, extend, and switch. So a deliberate movement here, but not too slow because we are getting some work out of this. Feel the way that your core compensates your balance as you move side to side. And then as you go through the movement, you should feel all those tiny corrections that your body makes to maintain your equilibrium, to keep that back flat, to keep those hips square to the floor so that you're not rolling side to side. Extend, exhale, extend, and switch. Extend, exhale, extend, and switch. 2 more sets. Exhale, extend, and switch. Extend, exhale, extend, and switch. Last set. Extend, exhale, extend, and switch. Extend, exhale, extend, and switch. Nice. Okay. Our last Pilates move before we move on to yoga will be the scissors on our back. So we're going to lay down one last time. Really feel your belly button push down to your spine. It's a really good feeling to have anytime in your life, really, to have your core engaged, supporting you, lifting up your rib cage. For our scissors, you can have one leg on the floor, or you can hover both legs. We're just going to grab one leg, 2 pulls, exhale, 2 pulls, exhale. So this should be practically easy compared to those side reach scissors that we did at the beginning of class. So enjoy. It's also a nice little stretch for the back of the thigh before we get into our true stretch in our yoga. Four more sets. 4, 3, 2. Last one. If you can, keep those legs in the air and just hold here. Kind of a modified boat. Head and shoulders up off the mat, holding for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, roll to a seat. Coming up to standing, we'll start our yoga series. We'll start with a sun salutation, of course. Let me adjust the camera a bit. So start by feeling your feet under your hips, lift up each toe, set it down individually. Start to feel those inner thighs engage. Engage the core, lift the rib cage up off the waist, roll the shoulder blades down the back, roll, roll, roll. Get all that tension out of the shoulders. Hands open, chin level. Just a couple breaths here to transition. Nice. Starting that Ujjayi yoga breathing, that whisper breath. Inhale up and exhale into a fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise up into a reverse swan dive. Exhale, palms to heart center. Let's do that again. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Palms to heart center. We'll do that one more time. This time we're going to hold on that forward fold. Exhale, fold. You can grab your toes in a yoga toe hold, or you can grab your arms in the cradle position for ragdoll, whatever you'd like. Just let your head drop down, feel the weight of your body, responding to the weight of your head as a counter. If you want to feel a bit of a different stretch, kind of roll your body weight more toward your toes, away from your heels. That will give you a different feeling for this stretch. And now let go of your toes or your arms. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Last time we're going to rise up. Exhale, palms to heart center. And this time we're going to come down into our plank. Inhale, flat back, step back into our plank. Our core should be good and strong. So let's hold this plank here for a little bit. You can definitely drop to your knees if need be. You can come all the way to the mat. If your shoulders are feeling aggravated today, you can just come and rest your whole body on the mat and feel your connection to the earth. If you're in the plank, feel those palms, feel all the fingers pressing into the mat, those toes, the heels pushing backward, the head reaching forward, not dropping that head. 2 more breaths. And now coming down in our chaturanga, you can drop your knees or keep them up. Hug those elbows next to the rib cage. Hover over the mat. Push forward into up dog. And press back into down dog. Dropping the head between the hands. You can try to walk your toes a little bit closer to your hands to get a deeper stretch on those back of those thighs, on those hamstrings, pushing the glutes up and behind you, lifting up through your shoulders to drop your head even further. And on our next inhale, we're going to inhale that right leg into the air. Step it forward. Drop the back foot to the mat. Come up into our warrior one. Hold here for 1 breath. Bring palms to heart center and open into warrior two, keeping this knee super, super open. Gaze over the front fingers, one breath. Flip the front palm up, reach back to reverse your warrior into peaceful warrior. And now come forward into extended side angle. Hook that knee inside the thigh. Look underneath that top arm. And bring the palms to the mat. Step your right foot back into the plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Hold here for one breath. And now lift that left leg into the air. Step it forward between the palms. Turn the right foot to the mat. Coming up into our warrior one. One breath here. Inhale, and then as you exhale, try to float down. Keep this down position. Palms to heart center. Open up into warrior two, pushing that back shoulder back so you get the nice open plane of your body. One breath. Flip that front palm, reaching back into peaceful warrior. Touch your leg either above or below your knee, but don't put any pressure on your knee. And now coming forward to our extended side angle, tucking that elbow in, looking under the top arm, palms to the mat, step back into that plank, come through your vinyasa, chaturanga, hugging the elbows, straight body, up dog, down dog. We'll hold here for 2 breaths. Now look up toward your hands. You can step or jump your feet up to your hands. Flat back. Hold, exhale. Rise up. Palms to heart center. Let's work on some balance. So getting set up here. Feel that yoga posture. Feel the straight line from your heels to the top of your head. To get set up, we're going to start with an airplane pose. So you'll have your hands by your side, palms facing back. Plant the toes of whichever leg you're going to start with. I'll start with my right so I have a chance of demoing since I am really bad at balance on my left, not good on my right either. And we're going to hinge the body into an airplane position, trying to have your leg and your torso parallel to the floor. I would rather have a straight line from the top of your head to your heels. So if your height is more at an angle, that's totally fine, rather than having your body out of alignment. Keeping this hip of the extended leg facing down toward the mat. If this posture is working for you and you want more challenge, we'll turn it into a warrior 3 by bringing your arms overhead and extending that body even further. More length, more opposition, more strength needed. Here. And we'll hold this for 2 more breaths, whichever variation you've chosen. And coming back to standing. Nice, you guys. Really good, beautiful balance. Leagues above me. Let's lift up the toes of the other foot, really anchor your other foot. We'll start with the airplane, shoulders down, palms facing behind, hinge your body to reach into that lean straight line, top of the head down to that heel. And if you want more challenge, arms overhead into warrior 3. Keeping those hips facing down toward the mat. 3 more breaths. Whoa, okay, coming down. Nice, beautiful, you guys. I love it. Okay, oh good, we have plenty of time. We're gonna come back down to the mat for a shoulder stand. So let's get there through our sun salutation vinyasa. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Flat back, inhale. Exhale, plant hands, step back. You can always jump into your plank too. Inhale, exhale, chaturanga. Up dog, down dog. Hold here for a second. And dropping your knees, coming all the way through. We're gonna come down to lay on our back. So we've got a couple of options here for this inversion. You can have your palms flat on the mat and just lift those legs into the air. That's option one. Option two is to come into the full shoulder stand. So we'll lift those hips up off the mat. Use your lower back, your hands on your lower back to support your body. And then try to get those legs straight up to the ceiling rather than in a plow. Mine are a little bit in a plow right now. But we're working toward having those legs straight up to the ceiling for this shoulder stand. If you'd like some leg variations, you can open your legs into a V. You can have one leg in front, one leg behind. Whatever you need today. I think I'll stay in this V. This is feeling good. And if you're comfortable, bring your legs back together and drop them behind you into a plow. You can keep your hands on your lower back for support. You can put them on the mat, palms down, reaching those toes down to the floor behind you. And now bring your knees to your forehead or your ears. Slowly roll your body back out. Full extension. Arms above the head. And as we started on our Pilates warm-up, inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. A couple more times. This time we have our legs fully extended. You can point your toes, but you've got the same engagement of the core, the same spinal curve maintained throughout. One more set. And then we'll come up into a fish pose. So bend your arms, plant your elbows, drop your head down behind you, lift up your chest. Strong, strong, strong through the shoulders. Let the mouth fall open. 3 lion's breaths. Mouth open. Roar on the exhale. Nice. Come into seated, rolling all the way forward to reach those toes. Another forward fold here. You might feel a little more limber, get a little more stretch here. Walk your hands further down your leg or tuck your hands, tuck your toes inside your palms. Nice. Rolling back up to seated. We're going to come back to our down dog. To come back to a standing position so you can step or jump your feet up to your hands. Flat back, inhale, exhale, hold, rise up. palms to heart center. We're going to do a wide standing V to a triangle. So getting your feet, your legs super wide apart, way wider than hip distance, trying to almost turn your toes in to start. Let's see my strap. Oh, I can use one of my son's drool bibs. You're going to start with your hands on your hips. Inhale, tiny back bend. So rib cage up and over, not thinking about the back bend coming from your lower back, but from your rib cage going up and over, dropping your head back, and exhale down into a fold. You can keep your hands on your hips, or you can grab a yoga toe hold, or you can rest your hands on your legs in a comfortable position. Starting with this V stretch here. And as we did with the forward fold, if you'd like to roll your weight more toward your toes and away from your heels, that will give you a different stretch. For me, that brings it much more strongly into my inner thighs. Keeping your head dropped. And walking both hands over to your right leg. Open your right arm up to the sky for a strong twist in this inversion. Looking up at that top hand. And bringing that hand down, walk both hands over to your left leg. Lift that left arm into the sky, trying to open that left shoulder to the ceiling as much as possible. Gaze up. And bring both hands back to center, back on your hips. Slowly rise up. Oh shoot, well, we're not going to use our strap to stretch our shoulders because I really want to do triangle. So turn one foot out so that your feet are at a 90-degree angle. The other foot stays facing in, toes almost pointed in. Lift arms up, straighten your hips. Try not to open your body like this. Straighten your hips. Your both shoulders facing toward the front. Reach over as far as you can. And when you can't go over anymore, come down into this triangle. Let your bottom leg rest either on your leg or on the mat. Top arm up and strong. Gaze at the top arm. That top arm is lifting, lifting, lifting in an oppositional stretch. Opening that bottom shoulder to open the top shoulder even more. Rest here. We did a lot of side body work today, so this will give us a stretch. It's also a nice stretch for the lower back. Lift up through that top arm. Turn the other foot out. Other foot in, reach over. And drop the foot down. Pushing that bottom shoulder into alignment. Well, pushing sounds bad. Bringing that bottom shoulder into alignment to open up the top arm. Lift up. And I have taken us over time. I'm going to do a very quick Savasana. If you need to go, I totally understand. But if you can stay, just bring your feet together. Inhale up. I think we have a special guest for Savasana, which is fine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Step back into a plank. Come through your Savasana, your Chaturanga, up dog. Down dog. Step your feet through. Come to lie flat on the mat. Tuck your shoulder blades under, lift your palms to the sky. And we'll just relax for 3 breaths. Rolling onto your side, using your arm as a pillow, keeping your eyes closed. Another couple of breaths here. Now coming to a seat, eyes still closed if you're comfortable with that. Bringing your palms to heart center. I thank you for joining today and thank yourselves for your commitment today on this gray and cold day to avoiding the temptation to just be cozy and to bringing yourself to Pilates and to yoga. Inhale, palms to the center of your forehead. And if you'd like, you can join me in a bow. Namaste. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for sticking in there. And let me stop the recording, but I'll stay on.